Hello, this is Laon from Golden Memories. Today's story is titled, When Time Taught Me to Let Go. There comes a moment in life when we realize that holding on too tightly can sometimes keep us from growing. This is a story about that quiet, gentle lesson, the one only time could teach. There was a time when I thought love, once given, should last forever, untouched by distance, unchanged by years. Back then, I believed memories were meant to be preserved exactly as they were, as if time itself would respect their shape. But time, it doesn't always ask for our permission. It fades the color of photographs, softens the sound of once familiar voices, and quietly changes the way we remember. It was in the spring of my late 30s when I found a small box while cleaning my mother's attic. Inside were letters. Mine, written decades ago, tied with a faded blue ribbon. They were letters I had written to someone I loved deeply, someone I hadn't spoken to in over 20 years. As I opened the first envelope, the scent of old paper carried me back to a time when life felt simpler, and my heart more certain. Her name was Yunya. We met in college under cherry blossoms that bloomed too early that year. She loved to read poetry out loud, even to strangers, and I loved to listen. We promised to stay together no matter what, believing that love could defy both distance and circumstance. But as the years passed, reality proved otherwise. She moved abroad for work, and I stayed behind, busy chasing a career that I thought would make me happy. Letters turned into emails, emails into short messages. And then, one day, silence. I told myself it was fine, that people drift apart, that this was life. But for years, a small part of me refused to let go, as if keeping her memory alive somehow kept my younger self alive too. As I sat in the attic that day, reading those letters, I felt both warmth and ache. Her words were full of light, simple hopes about the future, gentle words about love, and quiet questions I never answered. At the end of one letter she wrote, "If time ever changes us, I hope it will be kind." I remember closing that letter slowly, realizing how unkind I had been, not to her, but to the passing of time itself. For so long I had blamed time for taking things away. But maybe time wasn't stealing, maybe it was teaching. That night I took the letters to the garden behind my house. The air was cool, the sky a quiet shade of blue-gray. I lit a small candle and sat there for a long while, thinking of the person I once was, the one who feared ending so much that he stopped living in the present. Then, one by one, I burned the letters. The paper curled softly, turning into light, then into ash. And as the last ribbon slipped from my hand, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. It wasn't sadness that I felt, nor relief. It was something quieter. Acceptance. Because letting go didn't mean forgetting. It meant remembering differently, without the weight of wanting things back. A few weeks later, I visited my mother again. She asked why the attic smelled faintly of smoke. I smiled and told her I had finally finished reading some old letters. She nodded, as if she understood something I didn't have to explain. Time, I realized, had done its gentle work. It had turned pain into memory, memory into story, and story into wisdom. We don't really let go all at once. We just learn slowly that holding on doesn't change the past, but understanding it can change us. As you listen today, did a face or a moment come to mind, something you've held on to for a little too long? Maybe time is whispering to you too. It's okay. You don't have to forget. You just have to let it rest. This has been Laon from Golden Memories. May your memories stay gentle and your heart light. Until next time, take care and let the past find its quiet place.